Good morning, everybody. It's Barb Katie, and it's so good to be with you again today. I know I always say that, but it's always true. I truly, truly look forward to being able to share some thoughts with you as I check in each Monday morning. It keeps me in a good frame of mind and sets my focus for another week of effort toward my goal. I was just thinking when I was talking to you, which is hard to do, thinking one thought and speaking another thought. But I was thinking about in the 3 years that we've been sharing our thoughts, just how much life has changed, even in the field of obesity research. And yesterday, well, 2 days ago on Saturday, I had the opportunity to listen to one of our TOPS talks with Dr. Nia Mitchell, and she was sharing with everyone expectations a patient should have when they go visit their doctor, especially if they go visit an obesity specialist, which some of us have had referrals to do that from our own family physicians or our general physician. And the thing that impacted me most was that this is a multifaceted, multi-factor condition. Excess weight, according to the BMI charts, is not necessarily though you will register in a range that may indicate obesity, a true picture on a BMI chart. Professional athletes particularly have such a high muscle mass that they often target a range of BMI that would indicate an individual is obese when they certainly are not. They're just fully muscled. And muscle does weigh more than fat and take up more space, and they, bulk up with muscle mass. So that's just one thing. Weight is not always the primary indicator. And we should not, by any stretch of the imagination, define ourselves by a number on a scale. That's only one small moment in time throughout whenever we get weighed. Some people like to weigh daily. Some people like to weigh every other day, weekly, monthly, whatever. The number on the scale is just one of many indicators of how we're doing. And one of the things that I really was fascinated by as Dr. Mitchell talked was what she called the pyramid approach to weight loss. And I think all of us, more often than not in our journeys to try to manage excess weight, have opted into some stage in the pyramid, and some have moved up, some have dropped away from it for a while because it was just more than they could handle, because obesity is a chronic condition. It is going to take constant attention and management. It just isn't one and done. Boy, do I wish it were one and done, but it certainly isn't. And the basic aspect of the pyramid approach is to eat well and to be more active. Well, that's the basic thing everyone should do. Whether you have a weight issue or not, you should every day eat well and stay active. You need to get plenty of rest. You need to nurture your spirit as well as your physical being. You need to interact with people. These are all basic standard conditions that all of us need to examine and make sure are a part of a healthy, active life. One of the things that has been interesting to me, I got a new doctor. My doctor retired. And so I had to get to know a new doctor, and we were talking just about this. And he said, Barbara, I cannot tell you how important staying active is to your overall good health. The fact that you're still able to manage and do all the things that you can do is because you have stayed active throughout your life. It has nothing with reducing the number on the scale, because that takes a huge amount of activity to actually, with exercise alone, make an impact on our weight. But it keeps everything else going well. It lets us live independently. It lets us enjoy life to the fullest. And fueling the body so that it can stay active is critical. You want to give your body the very best you can give it in terms of bang for your buck nutrition, which is what I like to call it. Doesn't mean you aren't occasionally going to have junk, but you own it, and you move on, and you don't you try not to make it a steady part of your diet, because it will have consequences if you don't nourish yourself properly. You won't have everything your body needs to keep it in good repair and moving forward and energized. CHOPS has the exchange system, which is our primary one, but we also look at the My Plate method and the Canadian Pyramid, which is very similar. Both are, and it's basically eating from all food groups the healthiest choices you can. The good food that you're choosing, try not to drown in gravy or butter, which we used to laugh at here in West Virginia when my mom was raising us kids. She would say, well, no gravy and no frying today. And we'd all go, oh, darn. Because that was the way in my mother's household that she reared her family, was to try to create that balance. Didn't mean we didn't sometimes have really good fried food, but we also had a variety of food that was cooked in many different ways. And the one thing my mom was always really, really good about was vegetables. She always had a choice of vegetables for the family to eat at every meal. It just wasn't, well, the green vegetable for day is green beans. No, she would probably have collard greens. She would probably have green beans. She, depending on what was in season, she might add peppers to the mix. Just an array of wonderful fresh vegetables that she prepared for us to have. And no, they were all not seasoned with bacon grease, though sometimes people will say that. So at the base of the pyramid, it was just basic healthy eating and staying active. And then you move to a more individualized treatment based on your needs. My mom's family was diabetic. For all of her brothers and sisters were diabetic. And so she had learned how to modify the daily meal plan to try to be healthier for the diabetic members of our family, because we lived in a big extended family house with aunts and uncles and cousins from time to time as needs arose. And so she cooked big meals for this family, and she learned with time to adapt to certain health concerns that certain members of the family had. It was just a way of being. One of the things that Dr. Mitchell said when she was sharing her thoughts with us yesterday was also a realistic expectation of weight loss. And one of the things that she talked about was having a set point where the body seems to like to be in terms of weight. There seems to be that number that the body wants to stay at and return to. And it's very hard to modify that set point, which is a lot of times why I think we lose what we call it. We're on a roll, we're doing really well with our weight management, we're getting our weight down, everything is working fine. And then it's almost like you come up against a wall, and that wall tends to be the set point at which the body wishes to return. You may have lost your weight and kept it all successfully for some time, and then the body is like, wait, I'm not comfortable here. I've changed my mind. I want to go back to this way. And that takes real diligent awareness in order to reestablish a new set point. Most of the indicators are that a 10% weight loss can make a huge difference in your medical profile. And that, I think, is realistic. And then maybe when you're comfortable with that, you move on gradually, slowly, and maybe adjust your set point somewhat lower with each effort, instead of being so rigid and regaining almost all of your weight or more, which many of us know how easily that happens, is to just try to maintain what you've lost right now, and gradually through time to add to that loss as things happen and you readjust. I love to make charts, and it's always nice, to say, well, if I lost this many pounds each week, by this date, I would achieve my goal. Well, it's very rare that you can graph out a straight path in life in any endeavor. There always seems to be roadblocks, obstacles, detours, workarounds, mechanical issues. Sometimes we get sick and we cannot do the things that we have found work best for us in terms of weight management. And we need to accept that this is a process, that this is a journey. And that made me feel really good when Dr. Mitchell was sharing these, what she calls realistic expectations. The other thing that she said, which I thought was really interesting, was that fad diets in the long run don't work. They will probably work in the short run, but they usually don't work in the long run because they are so radical that it's hard to maintain them because you're not getting all of the nutrition you may need. And that's the reason Topsy always says is talk with your doctor. See what your doctor's thoughts are. You may have a medical condition that would contraindicate using one of these fad diets, or might in fact put you at risk for some type of a health consequence that you were unaware of if you followed that particular food plan. I thought that was really helpful information. And then she went on and she shared thoughts on the new medications that were out and their role. And interestingly, what she said in that is often when people are placed on these medications in the treatment profile, they have to stay on those medications. They're not used for a quick start. Oh, well, I'll take these pills because they help you lose weight, and then I'll go off of them and I'll go my merry way. Well, sometimes she indicated that may not be a possibility. You may need to stay on that medication once you start taking it. And it does you've all seen information on it, I'm sure. These medications do have side effects and consequences, some of which are really a little bit scary to me. But again, that's a conversation that we need to have with our primary care physician, or if we have an obesity doctor, with that individual, just to make sure we stay as healthy as we can throughout this journey. And then she mentioned some of the surgical procedures that also, for some people, seem to be necessary to help them deal with the disease. And what she said was, this is no guarantee of long-lasting success, that you still are going to have to go back to the base of the pyramid and make sure that you're eating as healthy as you can, now that you've modified your digestive system in some aspect, and you still are going to need to be active. Everything works together at whatever stage in the journey you find yourself. And sometimes we really do struggle with other health concerns that compromise all the effort we are making. And it's so easy at that time to want to just throw in the towel and give up and say, what's the use? Every time I do this, the cycle repeats. But my way of thinking is, if we start at the base of that pyramid and ensure that we're eating as healthily as we can and staying as active as we can, regardless of the number of the scale, we're going to be healthier to deal with whatever comes our way. And the last thing that Dr. Mitchell shared, and you can watch her video on the TOPS website very soon, it'll be pasted there, is the importance of support. And that's why we come together. We know how important it is to have support when dealing with a chronic health concern like obesity. It's easy when you get so frustrated and things don't work out right despite your very best efforts. And it's like, what the heck is going on here? But if you're patient with yourself and give yourself grace, it makes a huge difference if you have people around you that understand the frustrations that you sometimes feel when you're trying your very best and progress seems to elude you. And I guess my message today is really simple. It's keep the foundation of what you do focused on your health, not on a number, but focus on being healthy. If you lose your health, in my way of thinking, you've lost most everything that is of great value to your personal self. And treasure your health. Try always to move in the direction of being your healthiest, best self. I want to be able to roll in the grass and play with the kids and go down the slippy slide and all those things. Now, with grandchildren, with great-grandchildren, I hope one day soon. That would be marvelous for me. No pressure, sons. No pressure, grandsons. But that's the way I look at life, is to be able to put a smile on your face, be active, be happy, be in the moment, living your best life. And if you live your best life, that my life is not necessarily better because of peanut butter fudge, which I love. My best life is being able to get up in the morning, get out of bed, get on with my day with a smile on my face, and share those moments with everyone around me that I meet during that day in a positive way. That's my best life. I hope that you will start today enjoying every moment that you've been given. This is a wonderful present each morning to wake up and get a fresh day to use as you decide you want to use. Make the best of it. Don't squander it. Celebrate it. Celebrate all the people in your day that make it even brighter and a happier place to be. I'm going to get off here now and get on about my best day. Check out the video in Tops Talks if you have a chance. I think you'll enjoy it. Go back and look through some of the other ones. We have some wonderful speakers that share great insights with us, and I will talk to you later. Have a good one now. Bye-bye.